All right, folks. So things are getting really exciting as I continue forward. More ships appear in the sky. There were three last night, and it seems like maybe that number might actually start growing as we continue forward. But I just want to explain a few things. Once everyone gets access to their trust, nobody's going to want to work anymore. But that's okay, because the United States was actually like a store, like a storefront for people who to create like an experience for others. But what we can do is we can take some of the technology that's at the center of the earth and bring it out here to create technological advancements that are in tandem with where we're supposed to be at. Kind of, for example, like you don't have anybody want to work at McDonald's because they got a trust or whatever. Then you make assembly line type robots, nothing that's a threat. You know, the creator will let us know when we're going too far. But, like, you know, assembly line that, you know, puts the right amount of condiments on the cheeseburger, flips it. The other one puts buns on it. And that's the same thing, like an assembly line for cars. One just sits there and just rivets. So that's not a threat. So we create a society like that, and we just make it all futuristic across the board. And nobody needs to be a slave to nobody. And nobody will be able to look at me with all the shine, look at all my ice, and you ain't got nothing. Like, it ain't gonna be like that no more. That's just bullshit. So yeah, that's what's coming, and that's what I promise, is that if you guys stand behind me and let me represent you, you're not gonna have any problems. You're not gonna have any fucking problems whatsoever. And if anybody has to answer to me with a fraud, they ain't gonna want to come try to see if they can get a deal, because they're just gonna get rejected and then leaned or whatever, tarred, feathered. You feel me? Whatever is hysterical. So we can continue our love train. But yeah, this is really good. Let's talk about authority. Let's talk about authority. We're just gonna ramble on about a few things today. So you got public service. A lot of people don't understand that y'all are in charge of these servants, man. That's why whenever there's people voted into power, they always want to look back at us and point fingers and shit and try to act like that it's our fault. In reality, it's their fault, because none of them educated the people enough to let them know that it is their fault and why. They don't know why it's their fault. So it's not their fault. It's the fucking representative's fault for misrepresentation. Because you don't have anybody's concise contractual agreement to go and do the things that you're doing. If everyone wants to protest against you, you're basically contradicting your operational capacity to be in good faith and to act without malice. That's what all this shit's about. So say, for instance, you get pulled over, right? Woo! This dude is doing a service. He thinks that you don't know shit. He gonna pretend like he doesn't know shit. You understand? Is they're all trained to follow these rituals. They know everything. Don't go easy on these clowns, because when you do, they slip their shit in, and then you got a knife in your back, you know, so to speak, hypothetically, you know. So you get pulled over. Woo! First thing he did is he put on emergency lights, which is a felony, because it's a federal offense to put on emergency lights when there's no emergency. You understand? Is that you don't have a baby hanging out your window. You ain't shooting firearms out the window. There's no reason why you should be getting pulled over in the first place. So you get pulled over, and you can hit them with that if you want to. That kind of, they get used to that one. So let's just kind of skip over that and not do the emergency. Hey, officer, your license and registration. Oh, you mean the name? Oh, well, that's my bank. So that's all it ever was. And it's a fictional corporation. It's a fictional corporation. We're riding around the land playing fictional games here, okay? You're asking me for my bank account information, bro. I don't know if I feel comfortable giving you my bank information. You might be an extortion artist. If you do that, their good faith is destroyed. They're going to go get in their goddamn car and they're going to haul ass out of there, because they don't want to hear that. They want you to be like, oh, I'm so scared. Shaky knees like Strawman and Wizard of Oz. I'll give you what you want. Just don't shoot me like your fake ass news with all your fake ass actors. They're servants. They don't shoot nobody like that. In society, there might have been situations where, you know, somebody comes running out of a jewelry store and gets shot or whatever the fuck. What I'm saying is that these beings, these servants, they would shine your shoes. And I'm telling you, the next time I see the police try to come up on me, these trustees, I am going to make this motherfucker shine my goddamn shoe. And I'm going to film that motherfucker and put it on YouTube. And I'm going to make him do it. I'm going to be like, no, servant, that is an order. Shine my goddamn shoes right now. Shine it. I said that's an order. These motherfuckers going to be like, then you're going to see you're in charge. So, all right. So another thing. You put a trespass sticker on your door, on your window, on your glass. They pull you over. Hey man, license registration. Oh, well, that's my personal bank. You're not an extortion artist, are you? They're gonna be like, no. Usually when you do that, they go to the next thing. Well, you got a headlight out. We need to talk about that. Shit like that. They go to the next thing. Want to change the subject. Another thing you can do, license and registration. Oh, well, the thing is that you need a court order to even ask me any of this. That's the law. Do you got a court order to ask me these questions? Because that's why I'm not obligated to answer your questions. Because you need a court order to even do this right now. They're going to be like, But hold up, though. I'm not done. Do you got a breach of the peace? Because I'm quiet. I ain't made no noise. You're the one making all the noise. Breaching the peace. You're a peace officer. You just broke your own fucking capacity. See what I mean? That loud ass, woo, it's a breach of the peace. They ain't supposed to do that. That's a noise disturbance. They're not supposed to do that. That goes against their own ideal. It's insane. It's insane. They want to give you a ticket for speeding, but they're speeding. It's insane. So these servants, you're in charge of them. You have a limited amount of cash. They're pulling you over because they want your straw man cash. That's it. They want you to write your name, which is a bank, and they're going to put an amount on it, and they're going to clean your ass out. And then that interest is going to kick over in your trust, and they're going to hit you over the head again. That way they can guarantee if you're a multi-billionaire or multi-millionaire, if they don't operate the way they would to serve us as their servants, which is why they're our servants in the first place. We're like kings and queens in here. So they don't want us to know. So, what is I getting at? There's two different ways I can go with this. So basically, you just need to act like who you are. Act like who you are. Know who you are. Stand in authority. Don't be angry. It's a contract. Don't be angry. Just stand your ground and tell them again and again. They say, hey, you got a warrant for your arrest. What are you talking about? A capias? Oh, that's not a warrant for arrest, silly. That's just a negotiable instrument. If you want to negotiate with me, then I can settle that with you without malice and good faith. So you can stay in good faith. And you don't have to kidnap me because 28 U.S.C. 2007 says that nobody's supposed to be jailed for debts anyway because there's no money. And you're not going to perform a kidnapping today, are you? And they're going to be like, nope, pew. So that's how you do it right there. They don't want to. And over the years, I've learned how to tighten my skill sets because it is a plethora of things you got to learn, and it's spread out everywhere. And you've got to be able to hone it in concisely into your brain, so you're picking through this. I suggest people sun gaze because it makes you faster and smarter. You listen to the song Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. It tells you the sun wants to make a supersonic man out of you, traveling through the air at 200 degrees. That's why they call him Mr. Fahrenheit. So you stare into the sun and you get yourself concise, because what you've got to do is not only have the knowledge, you've got to be ready to go one-on-one handball, basketball with these attorneys, these trustees, and they're fast because they've got a higher electrical perception than us. So whenever you sun gaze, you got the knowledge and you got the speediness. So you're just like, so it's a wonderful thing, this sun gazing. It's something that we're meant to be. So all these trustees, they have switched their positions into making themselves rulers over us, but they're really our servants. And as far as I'm concerned, Vatican, all of these people, they all have everything that has been taken from us on a consistent basis. As far as I'm concerned, like, remember we were talking about like Gadriel's castle and shit like that. That's not something we need to be concerned about. The reason why I say that is because every matrix, they've been seizing our gold. Gadriel's never been a part of that since he's been not. And what it proves is there's plenty of gold on the earth that can be collected amongst us as people on a consistent, regular term of 2,000 years. We accumulate tons of gold ourselves. So we have our own supply of everything. And we just clean out the government and we're good. We clean out that Federal Reserve and wherever our gold is at, we're just going to get all that back. And they're stealing it. So they're stealing it. The banks, you go into a bank. The bank, if you ever sign up for a bank account, make sure you write private on the little box. Why? Because what they're going to want to do is they're going to want you to give them a social. Because the bank account is really just your trust open. And then they put Federal Reserve notes in it to lean against your trust. And that's all it is. There is no bank account. It's just debt. Dollar for dollar plus interest. There's no such thing as real money. Okay? You are the commodity that has the unnailable, unlimited resource from the Most High that has been turned into a monetizable instrument to mask the unnailable authority in a form that is fitting within the system, like a paper type form versus a spiritual freeness and a wholeness amongst resources and land and everything else. So once they turn it into monetizable, they hide it from you, and then they lean against it, and then they serve you securities against it, which also take your rights away, because the securities not only tell you what they expect from you, which they secure it by way of security. You just mail the shit back, return to sender, no problem. And that's what you got to do. And the servants, they don't have that right. They got to file shit. They got to, because they're supposed to be shining our shoes. So they don't have the right to reject contracts from us, because we make the rules and they are supposed to cater to us. So that's how that works. Okay. And let's see what else. Yeah, I just helped somebody get a house again. I've been helping people get houses. I'm basically just fine-tuning these processes as I go, and I've been becoming more successful. I have classes. You can hit the support button in there and send me $100, and I will teach you something that you want to know. Maybe you want to know how to discharge your taxes because it's a fraud. Maybe you want to know how to prepay your child support because it's a fraud. Maybe you want to know how to get your friend out of a situation because they're in a fraud situation. You know what I mean? Maybe you got a mortgage. I can teach you how to discharge it because it's a fraud. The whole shit is a fraud. They're supposed to make it look like it's good, so you agree with it and go along with it, because chances are you're too distracted to study the law, and then you won't know nothing. You'll just be walking around here, boom, bing. Why is everybody robbing me? Why they won't treat me like that? I can't get no justice in the court, because you're supposed to know something. But at the same time, it's still an atrocity. It doesn't excuse them from committing criminal acts against the people by any means whatsoever. They're fucking full of shit. And they're our trustees. So that's why the Constitution, okay, was created. They said you got inalienable rights in your creator. But then they built the church. They hid your creator from you. They built churches of stone and shit like that. So you go in there and you're thinking you're not dealing with the graven languages and images, but you're wrong. You're reading languages. Your language was telepathy. The thing that is all-encompassing, it works with the ears to transcend any language, just like that fish on the Hitchhiker's Guide. So, yeah, everything they're doing is securities to secure a method of obstruction and theft. So if they obstruct that you're superhuman and not just a regular human, they obstruct that you're not already owner of all this and your creator gave it to you. So they're going to start trying to take your shit with mortgages, shit like that. Lying when the mortgage was the cash, because you signed it with your name. The name was the cash, remember? So that's how it works. You don't need to fucking go to jail. None of you. You're non-violent. You say, hey, man, ain't nobody supposed to go to jail. 28 USC 2007. What are you doing? Trying to kidnap me? You got to stay in good faith. They're going to be like, we don't want to deal with that guy. So, yeah, they're committing atrocities and fraud, and they're stealing, but they want to look good. That's the whole move. So that's what the maker made these motherfuckers do, bro. She put these motherfuckers in a wrench like this. And they were like, how do we figure out how to get out of this? We still want to do wrong. And they figured out how to get out of it. But this still doesn't hold them. It doesn't make it inexcusable to what they're doing, how they're going about it. So that's why, again, that's why you're seeing everything happen the way it is. That's why there's ships in the sky. They were prepared for this way before I even knew I was going to produce orders. They were already ready. They're sitting up there waiting for it to all start coming together. So, hey, stay tuned for more Grim Nasty TV. And as always, out of the fog and into the fire. 'Cause when we get awake, we stay awake.